Hi, my name is Renee Rizzo. This will be a teacher facing video which will guide you through my adaptation of Passport to Social Studies Grade 8, Unit 2, Day 12. I chose to adapt this lesson, although I teach high school students in alternate assessment settings, because Passport to Social Studies also focuses on U.S. history at the 11th grade level. There are relevant lessons in the 4th, 7th, and 8th grade Passport to Social Studies curriculum that address U.S. history at a level that is often more developmentally appropriate and accessible for students in alternate assessment settings. In this video, I will be using Nearpod and demonstrating various features it offers to make lessons more immersive and engaging. I will also show you 3 differentiated levels of assessment for this lesson, which I created using Google Forms. So here's a preview of the lesson in Nearpod. Social Studies Grade 8, Unit 2, Day 12, Immigration Political Cartoons. Focus question: what were the experiences of immigrants coming to America? Lesson objective: analyze political cartoons in order to evaluate anti-immigration sentiment from the past and compare it to anti-immigration sentiment today. Next generation learning standard addressed, in my opinion. Determine the key ideas or conclusions of a source. Summarize complex concepts, processes, or information presented in a source by paraphrasing in precise and accurate terms. NICE DLM essential element addressed. Determine the central idea of a text. Recount the text. Essential element linkage levels. Initial precursor. Can identify the concrete details such as individuals, events, or ideas in familiar informational texts. Distal precursor. Can find 2 points made by an author of an informational text that relate to each other. Proximal precursor. Can summarize an informational text including relevant details and descriptive information. Target. Can recall and describe the events and details in an informational text in the same order as they appeared in the text. Successor. Can ascertain the logical relationship or interaction between 2 or more individuals, events, ideas, or other details in an informational text. Introduction model from original lesson. Consider this statement: a multicultural and diverse society benefits all people. Multicultural, of relating to or constituting several cultural, religious, or ethnic groups within a society. Do you strongly agree, or disagree? Disagree or strongly disagree? Explain. So this was all taken directly from the original lesson in Passport to Social Studies in the Teach Hub. But this can easily be converted to a poll as seen on the next slide so students can see real-time data based on their classmates' answers. So the poll in Nearpod. Consider the statement: a multicultural and diverse society benefits all people. Then do you A, strongly agree, B, agree, C, disagree, or D, strongly disagree? The original lesson states, today we are going to explore political cartoons. Artists often reflected public sentiment or opinions with their artwork. These cartoons can help us understand the variety of popular reactions to the immigration issue during the late 1800s and early 1900s in America. A simple paraphrase to increase the likelihood of student comprehension. Today, we are going to explore political cartoons. These cartoons often show the way people felt about popular topics during that time. These cartoons can help us understand whether Americans liked or disliked the fact that more and more people were coming to the United States from other countries in the early 1800s and 1900s. So it's just minor adaptations to the language in the original lesson to make the lesson more understandable for students in alternate assessment settings who are in high school. So this is the immigration political cartoon, which was included in the original lesson. Welcome to all. This was also mapping visual inquiry, deconstructing political cartoons tool from the original lesson. Who is this? What is this? What is he, she, it doing? What does this detail represent or symbolize? How does it relate to the theme of immigration? So I just broke these up into open-ended questions within Nearpod. Who is in the picture? What are the people doing? What do you think the cartoon means based on what you see? And then what do you think the cartoon is trying to say? Immigrants are welcome in America or immigrants are not welcome in America? So instead of asking all the questions at the same time in the tool, as you could see, I broke it up. And I would probably do this in Nearpod as a whole class activity so students can work together to answer the questions. I would also enlarge the cartoon for each question so that students could really analyze the details in it to answer. The lesson then offers more cartoons for interpretation. I chose to use this one because the message is apparent and is opposite of the first cartoon presented students, The Fooled Piper. From the original lesson, independent work, think and respond to the following questions after you finish reviewing your assigned political cartoon and welcome to all. How were immigrants perceived? What evidence of nativism, if any, is present in the cartoon? Is the artist in favor of immigration, opposed, or neutral? And what is the overall message of the cartoon? So, the adaptation for students and alternate assessment. I created 3 differentiated levels of assessment based on these questions in Google Form. So, at level 1, welcome to all, I show the cartoon here. What kind of opinion do you think the creator of this cartoon had of immigrants? A positive opinion or a negative opinion? It's a simple question with picture supports for our students who need that degree of support to be able to answer the questions. For our level 2 differentiated assessment, same cartoon. What kind of opinion do you think the cartoonist had of immigrants? A positive opinion or a negative opinion? How did the artist feel about immigration? He was in favor of it, he was opposed to it, or he had a neutral opinion of it. What was the overall message of the cartoon? Immigrants are welcome in America, or immigrants are not welcome in America? Immigration political cartoon level 3. How do you think the cartoonist felt about immigrants and immigration? And what do you think is the overall message of the cartoon? So, as you can see, the questions are increasing in their difficulty across the 3 levels. So, just to review, this was a teacher facing video which guided you through my adaptation of Passport to Social Studies Grade 8, Unit 2, Day 12. I chose to adapt this lesson because although it is an 8th grade lesson and I teach students at high school levels, there are relevant lessons across 4th, 7th, and 8th grade Passport to Social the 4th, 7th, and 8th grade Passport to Social Studies curriculum that address U.S. history at a level that is often more developmentally appropriate and accessible for students in alternate assessment settings. So I used Nearpod, demonstrating the various features it offers, and I showed you 3 differentiated levels of assessment for this lesson, which I created using Google Forms. I also should mention that I chose to use a lesson based on political cartoons because students in alternate assessment settings often need visuals to understand the topic of a lesson. So, lessons that are created for general education students or students in general education settings, but that incorporate images are really beneficial to adapt for our students because it gives them access to content that their same age peers in general education settings are learning. And that is an important opportunity for our students to have always. Thank you for watching.